So you don't want to listen to me, you want to listen to Jeremy, who's going to go through a lot on grafting and how to do it. So I'm just going to get out of the way and pass you over to Jeremy. So Jeremy, take the hot seat.
Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The point of grafting, of course, is to raise new queen bees. And the ones you want are the ones that you like. So if you haven't got bees that you like, borrow a comb from somebody else that you do like. So I've got them a frame here, which I collected about 10 or 15 minutes ago. But really, you can go and borrow from somebody else and travel, and the bees will be fine. I suggest a hot water bottle, but in this temperature, it's not really necessary. So we prepare a graft frame. I've got some here. So these are the brown cells, little packet of them here. And these are the things that Barry uses. And you can see that, well, I don't know if you can see, but these here, they've got a little rim of wax around them. And that's what the bees do. You put them in 24 hours.
Hang on a second, we're having an audio issue. Yeah, not sure what's going on with the audio here at the moment. Yeah, we've lost audio, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Pop that down, I can close up that. Is that okay? Is that better?
I can hear you now, yeah.
You can hear me now. Good.
No, it's going again.
So did you catch Jeremy? What Jeremy's
Gone again.
Huh.
Right. Not sure what happened there, I'm afraid, guys.
Oh, you've lost me completely.
Right, okay.
I need to rejoin.
There we go. Right.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Good. So did you hear what Jeremy said about the cells for grafting?
I heard about the brown cells and the wax being applied to the cells.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a close-up of that that cell. If you can yeah. Switch to me.
Hang on a second. Okay, swapping over. There we go.
So hopefully you can see there's that little rim of wax that Jeremy talked about. If you put these,
yeah, it shows up on the screen.
Yeah, if you put these cells in the donor hive, that's what they will do to them.
Well, the cell raising hive.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, back to Jeremy. Back to the chat.
There we go.
And the brown cells are good because you can cage them. So when the queens emerge, they're still in the cage. The other sort of cell are these known as JZBZ. It's an American company, and they come in different colors. And these ones on the left here, they've all got that little rim of wax from last time I used them. So, oh yes, the other thing, of course, is that some of these, you can take the bar out, so you can easily graft into it. And the other way of doing it is to have them on a swivel, so you can swivel them around and graft into that. It's your choice. Graft tools. I like the paintbrush, This is an artist 00.
So these graft tools are basically to get the 1 day old larva out of the cell.
Yeah.
And into the into those chops.
Yeah. So this is a paintbrush, the Chinese grafting tool, which has got a bit of feather in the bottom, and it's a.
Can we have a close up of that?
You can have a close up of that. If you press, it's spring loaded.
Hang on. Just lost the audio.
So the back. Yeah, so you're there. That's it. If you press the back, it pushes the, so you scoop up the larva with the shaped bit of feather and push it off with the plunger at the back.
Okay.
And I've also got an American one here, which does the same job. But being American, it's hugely expensive, and the Chinese thing is cheap as chips, or even cheaper. Right. Now, the other thing is you need to be able to see. Now, I find ordinary reading glasses are fine, but you can use a little thing like this, which you can clip on your glasses. So you put it on the master eye. My master eye is on the left, and then you can see into the base of the cell. You can have a dentist loop, which goes around your head with 2 eyes at a distance, again, to the same purpose. Or you can buy glasses from an optician. This says times or plus 350.
You get them in Tesco's and Boots, can you?
Yeah.
Just wander in.
Just magnifiers. As I say, I find ordinary reading glasses are fine. Okay. So when the first drones start maturing, or are maturing in early May, 24 hours in advance of your intended grafting, you go to your cell raising colony. This is it here. Can we switch to that? Is that too difficult?
No, fine.
Okay. So
shout if you can't see
this one's got supers. So that goes down there, and a queen excluder, of course. And we want, this is my cell raising colony. And from this, I want pollen. So here's a sheet of pollen. You'll have to believe me. And there's another one. There's pollen. And I want a frame of eggs and young brood.
Hang on, just let the audio catch up. Okay. Audio check again.
Of course, all right. Yeah.
So what Jeremy's doing now is basically he found a hive that's in good condition, and he's taking a few frames out that he needs to make a cell raising area,
right,
in a different
I can just push these up, or I can put in some frames to fill up the gaps. These go into my new box, which I'll show you in a minute. And the queen excluder goes back on top. And this box goes on top of that. So here, I've got a three-frame dummy, which goes up that end. I've got the eggs and young brood from down below. And I've got 2 frames of pollen. Pollen.
Can everybody see that? Okay, Sam, I'm guessing you're the spokesperson for everyone.
Yeah, I can see where those were laid, sort of thing. So
yeah. Good. And my graft frame is going to go between the eggs and young brood. Now, if you're paying attention,
beside the eggs and larvae, and the pollens are on the outside.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I've got a bit of space. So I also need a frame feeder if they flow. And currently, I think the hawthorn is just finished, so we will need this today. So that goes in, and I put in there sugar syrup, fairly thin one, because I don't want them to store too much of it. I want them to build comb. And I can give them a comb to build.
Yeah.
And
If you have a
just a
frame of
gap.
honey available, would you use that as well?
Sorry,
If
honey
you have
was
a
available.
yeah,
Sorry,
if you have a frame of honey available, would you use that as well? Hang on, audio issues again.
No, I wouldn't.
No, still audio issues.
You want income. You want income. You're simulating nectar.
So you want an incoming food source.
You want an incoming food. It's just you want thin syrup.
Okay.
A pint and no money. Okay.
We're having problems with that Bluetooth
Okay.
speaker. Sorry.
Right. Okay. I'm now going to take out this dummy graft frame and use and graft for real. This is just a mock-up. Oh, before we want to check. There's a handout to go with this talk, and I'll give it to you. So when you go through the cells, I wasn't going through too quickly. You need to check you've got a queen in the box, and she's laying well, and there's no queen cells.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you put these frames up top, before you do, shake off all the bees. The idea is that there are drones this time of year wandering around. You don't want drones above the queen excluder because they can't get through it and they'll just die. Right.
Yep, still here.
Still here, very good. Okay. So we replace the supers. Oh wait, I'm going to leave that there, aren't I? Here we are. That goes back. You can see we should have had a dummy run at this. There's the super. So this is 24 hours in advance of the graft. There's the super. Don't need another queen excluder because the queen's down here. Right. This is where the bees come up through, attracted by the frame of eggs and young brood, and they find the cells pointing downwards, which indicates they're for queens, and this is where they put that little ring of wax in. So you go away and have a good night's sleep and come back the next day. Go to your colony, you take off the super, and you take out the graft frame. You might wonder what this block of wood is here for, is because if you don't have it there, the bees with income will draw comb, and you may find your queen cells are engulfed in comb, which you don't really want.
So Jeremy, just one point about that. You're making sure that these cells are quite low down in the frame.
Yeah.
You don't have them right at the very top.
No.
Yeah. And that's just so they're closer to the bees. Is that right?
Well, not really. It's just because with the bees will draw comb because of the income.
But why couldn't you say them right at the very top?
Because they will engulfed by the comb building.
Okay. Right.
You can do.
Yeah.
And the first ones I had 3 rows, one up here, one in the middle, and one lower down.
Right.
And I found that it didn't really work so well because of this comb building.
Oh,
that goes
interesting. Because I've had that happen, and now I know why. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it stands to reason. If they've got income, they build comb or store it.
It may stand to reason to these master beekeepers in front of us.
Okay. So here we have a real comb that came from a colony about half an hour ago. And you can see it's capped on one side, mostly. So these are older larvae. And on this side, they're that bit younger. I've got a whole lot of them. You can see the shine.
Can I do a close-up of this?
Yeah, sure.
So just so you can see what we're after.
So here we go. I can't really see now. So there we go. Well done, Sam. Spotlight that.
Hang on.
Once we pop across, there we go. So let me see. So we've got some capped cells there. And if we move along, then we go to some cells that...
I think the sun's moved. There we go. There's some larvae Cs.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn around so we're a bit more into the sun.
We've got some honey over the edges there.
We've got that then. Can we see any?
See the larvae at the bottom there?
Yeah.
The silhouettes though. So, and then
no. Over here there are. See some larvae?
Yep. You have to be really, really close to see them. There we go. With your own eyes, you should be able to see this much better. But with a camera, it's quite awkward.
Yeah, you should see the position I'm in right now. Or perhaps you shouldn't see the position I'm in right now. Put you off your lunch.
It's all in aid of science.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Back to Jeremy.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is the frame I'm going to graft into. You see it's only a bit of wood. It says, on this side it says honeycomb. On that side it says fish today, please. But never mind. Okay. So this bar comes out. That can go back there for the moment. I'll be grafting into this bar. And in fact, this bar will be going back into a nuke box prepared like that, but less with less disruption. And so, nice little lick beforehand. And now I look for eggs, and then I look near them to see the newly hatched larvae. And as soon as they hatch, the bees start feeding them with royal jelly. So you see that pool they're lying in, it gives a shine. And I've got them in sunlight, which doesn't do them any good. So I want to be reasonably quick. But obviously not too quick not to do the job. Now, where are we? I saw just the perfect patch. Oh, it's about the other side. Here we are. That's better. So here, I can see an egg here, and then next to it, there is a young larva. And it's I lift it up with my paintbrush. I put it into the bottom of the cell, and I twist the brush slightly to leave it behind in the center.
Well, let's just see if we can get in a little bit closer for the next one. So Sam, if you can just go on to the close-up one, the close-up view. I'll take off the close-up lens because we won't need it here, but we can get a little bit closer. Remind me to put it back on again.
Yep.
I'll keep my distance and show what's going on here.
Right.
Going around the other side. Yeah, let's do that better blood work. You got this one?
Okay.
Yep.
Now, if you think you're going to be damaging these newly hatched larvae, you can double graft. And that's put 2 in each cell, and the bees will sort it out. But of course, that takes longer. I don't find it necessary because you don't really want all, I mean, it depends how many queens you want, but I don't really find that's a problem. They don't all come good, but enough of them do.
Yep. Barry, are you able to get a close-up of the larvae that Jeremy's grafted?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Got the close-up lens on.
Right, Mike.
So if you could just pop that. Oh, he's just about to do another one. Let him do this next one, and then we'll have a close-up of the what's in the cell.
Now, today is easy grafting because of the bright sun. It doesn't do the bees much good.
So I'm hoping, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you because I'm always amazed at the quality of comb from a very experienced beekeeper. So mine is always a little bit manky, a little bit curvy, but this stuff is perfect. Right, so let's just have a look, see if we can have a look in the cell. There we go, here's one here. See a larva in here. You see in the bottom of that cell?
That's on the 3 o'clock position of the dead center there.
Yeah, and this is the next one.
About the 5 o'clock position there.
Yeah. And on this one.
Dead center.
You've done this before, Jeremy. You've done this before.
Yeah. Well, there we go. As I say, practice makes perfect, and it isn't difficult. And I do recommend people just have a little try. After all, what is there to lose? There's a recent paper out that showed that when the bees choose queens, or they choose larvae to make into queens, they go for what they call royal lines. So there are certain bees with unusual genetic characteristics, and because they're unusual, when the queen mates with a drone, which is she wants one that is not genetically similar to her, and the unusual ones, of course, will be better for that. I've got lots and lots of larvae to work from. What you can do, if you want to see better, is break down
let me watch that.
Break down the sides of the cell, and then that makes it easier.
Let's see what Jeremy's doing here.
Pick them up.
Change the camera over. There we go.
That one doesn't seem to want to leave my brush. That's better. And of course, when they're lying in royal jelly, I think I must have forgotten this one.
Let's just take a quick look at that comb there. So where it's been bashed, you've just bashed it away.
Yeah, just here. I just bashed the sides down. And that one too.
And it just makes it easier to get the brushing, to get the
and the bees will repair it. So as soon as it goes back in there, the bees will repair it and the queen will lay it up again.
Sorry, turn the camera back. There we go.
Keep you on your toes, Sam.
Yeah. It's a good day.
It's a good day.
And if I have got 2 larvae in that cell, I can't see it. Then, oh, there seem to be 2. Yeah, never mind.
So I guess it'd be a good time for questions while we're doing this. We're keeping you all quiet while Jeremy does all the work. But if you want to, maybe you could unmute yourself and ask a question. That'd be great.
Right. Just beware, Barry. You need to unmute yourself again. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You should be able to unmute yourselves and ask questions.
I heard some noise in the background.
Yep.
Do.
Any questions? Come on, guys. Must be questions.
Just got to unmute yourselves to speak.
I can hear a voice in a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody?
I'll ask to unmute.
Right, well, I filled this bar.
Hello, I'm Louise. How long can you keep that frame out to do all this grafting? If you've got an out apiary or you've borrowed it from somebody else and then you come back home to do your grafting, how long can you keep it away?
Do the grafting in the out apiary. Why not?
Oh, well, I tried that after the last session when Barry was doing it, and it seemed to be a day when the bees were very angry. It was a nice hive normally, but they got very angry, and I had to retreat.
Go a little bit further away.
I did.
Go in the car and shut the door.
I did. I went into a shed and they pursued me, and I had to give up the whole thing. So I'm going to try again, sort of now, but. I brought a frame home to do it in the quiet of my own house, but wondered how long I could keep the frame and do the grafting.
Yeah, an hour should be fine.
I think they probably
the shorter time the better, but I think up to an hour would be fine.
And I think if you travel with them, if you pop them in a nuke box, you want to try and keep them quite damp.
Yes.
So.
Yes,
perhaps a wet paper towel in the bottom or something.
This is a nuke box I use. Yeah, you can put a hot water bottle in the bottom, ideally 35 degrees, which is the brood nest temperature. And as Barry says, keep a damp cloth or something in there as well, so the humidity is right.
I'd say
I've driven some half an hour, in the car from one spot to the next without any problems.
To protect the comb in the nuke box, I'd use a dummy board as well.
You could do, yes.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else with a question? Right. I can't see if anyone's trying to unmute themselves at all.
Okay. Well, if anyone wants the handout, how are we going to do that?
Well, I've got an electronic copy. I'll turn it into a PDF and email it around to everybody.
Well, I've updated it slightly since I sent it to you. So it's version 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
have a go. All you need is a paintbrush and some cells. And actually, you don't have to buy plastic cells. You can make them of wax.
Yeah. Yeah. You can use I think it's the end of a pencil. A pencil is about the right size, isn't it, to make?
Yes, it probably is.
Yeah. So dip the end of a pencil in some wax, let it harden a bit, dip it in 2 or 3 times, and then you can pull it off.
I put it into washing up liquid first, or washing up liquid, water with washing up liquid, and then into your wax. And 3 dips should give you a cell, and you can mold them onto your frame with more wax. That's what Clive DeBryan does.
So what's happening to these cells, these eggs now?
Well, these will go back down to the colony, and they'll go into this like this between the. Come on, darling, you go away. They'll go between the eggs and young brood, between the young brood and the pollen.
Take the lens off, Barry. I'll put that on spotlight for you.
Okay.
We've got the lens on still, Barry. There we go.
All right.
So you do a bit more of a over the top view on that for us. Okay.
Oh, you're an over the top. Okay, yeah, no worries. Hold on.
So we can see the layout. Okay.
Yeah, the bees can't read, so they need those instructions like that. 3-frame dummy, pollen, eggs and young brood. That's where the pollen goes.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any more questions?
No.
All come off mute.
Okay. Well, I'll go down to the apiary now and return all those young larvae who are not improving in my nuke box.
And I'll sit in the hot seat for a minute.
Okay.
What are we doing?
I'm just unmuting now. A few microphones there.
Right.
Okay.
If they come good,
Okay, yep,
That's for graft.
sure.
And I've got some queens as well.
Oh, excellent.
So,
Oh, any questions from anyone? And I don't know if you heard what Jeremy just said, but he has a few queens that are available if anybody would like one, and also these grafts that he's just done. He's going to offer those out to anybody that would like one.
anyone else have any questions at all?
What's the success rate?
So I think it very much depends on experience. So for those of you that came on, watched the one that I did, I think I did 10 grafts and I had 2 of them turn into queen cells, and then one of those queen cells went on to hatch and mate successfully. So I got 1 out of 10 at the end.
Okay.
In terms of grafting, the success of grafting, you could probably get around about 80% that will turn into queen cells. You just have to remember that once you've got the queen cell, you aren't home and dry. You put that into the nuke, they may not accept it. It may go out on its mating flight and fail and not come back. It may not successfully mate. So, you know, once you've got a row of queen cells, that doesn't translate into that many new colonies.
I know that Barry Powell done 100 grafts about a month ago, and he got, I think, less than 10 success.
Really?
He done another 100. I think he had over 90. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Barry uses a slightly different method most of the time. He doesn't graft like this, which is it's got its advantages in that you can get you can do it whenever you like. He uses a cup kit method where you put the queen into a special box where she lays eggs in that box. You know those eggs are laid on that day, so you know that then 3 days later they're a young larva, and they're already in these little cups. You know the cups, so they're laid directly into those cups, so you don't you're not touching them quite so much, so there's less chance of disturbing. So you probably get a better success rate once you've got the queen to lay. But getting the queen to lay in these cupcake things, in my experience, has been a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my experience.
Grafting is very handy for making emergency queen cells for colonies that you've possibly lost the queen of and things like that. So they have their purposes for different routines.
Right.
So
Oh, it's there, isn't it?
yeah, it's lovely though.
Yeah. What are you doing listening to this video or watching this video? You should be out beekeeping.
All right.
I think
Okay.
Is there any more questions there?
No.
No, not for me.
I don't know what Jeremy's doing, but there are a few bits and pieces here which I can show you. So once you've got your queen cell, there we go. Once you've got your queen cell, imagine the queen cells built on here. About 2 or 3 days before they're due to hatch, you need to pop this cage on.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to happen is for one queen to hatch early and then go around and kill off all the other queen cells. So you pop that cage on just to make sure that they're all protected. Then you'll take these off, and you want to put them into a hive. What you can do, you can either just take them like that. So imagine we've got our little queen cell hanging off here, and then you can just stick that in the comb within the nuke box within a couple of frames. Sometimes the bees in there can attack the queen cell if they don't want it. So you can use something like this. Get a bit closer. You can see it. It's like a little cage that you can just pop over the queen cell somehow, and then pop that into the colony, and then it's protected from the bees getting it. Jeremy, you're back. I'll let you take the hot seat.
I think we're about done. Yes. Well, somebody asked earlier about saying, I said graft in the apiary, and she said the bees wouldn't let her. Thinking about it, perhaps those aren't the bees to graft from.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Yes. Yes, I've just yesterday. Every now and then I get completely pasted by the bees, and yesterday happened to be one of those days. And Jeremy, we did a queen cell swap a few weeks back, and so one of Jeremy's queens, which is now mated, now heads up that colony.
I hope that wasn't the one that pasted you.
No. Well, it was a pasted colony, but now I've replaced it with your queen. So I'm hoping we'll get better results from that.
Well, this particular colony that this frame came out of, there's only a nucleus, young queen, but they're so nice. You take the lid off, and they just don't notice you. They just go on doing whatever they're doing. And that's the ideal. And so too few times do you find it.
Yeah.
Back to that, the colony that I chose was actually a very nice colony. It just so happened that day they seemed to be bad-tempered, and other hives were on that day. So I don't know whether it was to do with the oilseed rape going off or what, but they usually are well-tempered.
It could be that. Or it could be the weather.
And I'm guessing you'll have records, and you just go back and you'll see. Like I've got notes of records that say, "Oh, little buggers," "Oh, mad as a box of frogs," or
well, every time I inspect, I grade them out of 3. So I say, are they calm? Are they defensive? Will I breed from this colony? And if they get 3-3, the answer is yes. If it's 2, probably not. And if it's 1, definitely not.
Yeah. I think they're very.
A lot of things, can't it? That one day you think, oh, that's different, but that's one day out of 100 sort of thing. So you can't judge them just.
It can happen. That's right. I remember when I first started beekeeping, we went with a very experienced guy. It's actually Ken Bastonhill in Devon, and there's this great big colony in an old ruined building, and we took the lid off, and they really went for us. So we closed it up and tiptoed away. Yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and if there's any questions, do email me. I'm happy to answer them. And, we'll have a handout ready for you if you want that.
Yeah, I'll send it back to everyone. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Have a good day.
Stay safe.
That's it.